Well, hello, friends. This is Steve Feldman, the Development Director for the York County Bar Foundation. And it's my pleasure to be speaking with Ann Zerbe, the President of the Board of the York County Bar Association, and with Amy Nelson, the President of the Board at the York County Bar Foundation. Ann and Amy, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Steve.
It's a pleasure to see you, Steve and Ann.
Glad you could be with us. And way back in January, we introduced you and Amy as the A-team, with both a bit of humor and with an optimistic attitude for a very successful and active 2020. Instead, it's been one of the most disrupted and crazy years that I think we've experienced in our lifetime. How have you and the members of the bar been dealing with this crazy year?
Well, the answer is, I think, together. We have leaned on each other and somehow managed to adapt to the new normal literally overnight. And like everyone else in our community, the biggest issues that lawyers and judges faced in 2020 was the triple pandemic. And that was obviously COVID-19, the social justice repercussions resulting from the death of George Floyd, as well as the economic impact that we're in the midst of because of the virus. And the pandemic hit our practices in the same way that it hit most businesses, schools, and other workplaces. Parts of the legal system that are traditionally very much in person or only ever in person went remote overnight. Some law offices struggled to find their way and get their footing. Others did so more quickly. There really wasn't a pattern to this. Offices large and small did well. Offices large and small took some time to find their way. There was no guidebook. We like to say we were flying the airplane while we were building it. And at the same time, the deaths during the altercation with police really that galvanized the nation over the summer also had their effects here in York County. And Amy and I came into our respective offices focused on the promise of liberty and justice for all. And our eyes have been opened, and through our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, we've learned things that we probably should have known all along, that prejudice and inherent bias affect our members of color in profound and disturbing ways. And if professionals of color can be treated unprofessionally, how much more is happening to our other neighbors and fellow citizens in our community, in our Commonwealth, and in our country? And in light of the triple pandemic, the foundation has been extraordinarily active as well. Don't you say so, Amy?
We certainly have. The pandemic has changed not only the way we communicate and learn and respond to law-related community needs, but it really disrupted our entire community in ways we could not have anticipated. The foundation works with York County partners who faced financial disruption, staffing concerns, and the inability to reach their clients or serve their constituencies. Some have had to cut employees, shut down programs, but we have been able to keep our programs running, although it took a lot of creative thinking and a tremendous amount of work to figure out how to do it. I'm personally really grateful to the York County Bar Association and Bar Foundation staff for their flexibility and their dedication through this difficult time.
My next question is really to both of you again. What has been the biggest challenge for each of your organizations, and how have you coped with it? Amy, let's start with the Bar Foundation.
Well, Steve, one of the most challenging aspects of the pandemic has been the disruption of families. Work furloughs, and as we know, the resulting financial pressures, stresses around childcare and education, and the inability of families and neighbors to help get together has created a lot of stress. And we've seen that because it's shown up in increased protection from abuse filings, divorce, and other family law issues. Our Modest Means program has been flooded with calls, and our partners at Mid-Penn Legal Services and the Pennsylvania Immigration Resource Center are doing their very best to deal with these serious issues. We've been staying in constant communication with our community partners to try and make sure that we can direct our own limited grant-making resources to programs that can have the maximum impact and really help families through this difficult time. The other challenge, as Ann mentioned previously, has been racial justice. The Foundation and Association have been working together to find ways to positively change the racial inequities in our justice system. There is an internal aspect of healing ourselves, which the association has been working on, and an external aspect of ensuring that our community can trust the legal system to be fair and impartial and not prejudice someone in their case on the basis of the color of their skin or their accent. Ann and I have created a special task force to map out a strategy of coordinated action steps to tackle these issues head on.
And what's been the biggest issue in your solutions for the association?
I think the biggest issue that we faced was just keeping the justice system running. That was clearly the biggest challenge when we had to shut down in-person operations in the court and in our offices overnight. The Bar Association was critical to providing information and resources, as well as training on meeting platforms like Zoom for all of our members and to the community as well. Our CEO, Victoria Connor, and the staff have been hosting Zoom meetings to educate members and to share information with the community on local court and state level information. We hosted CLEs on the new laws and stimulus packages. Sometimes these things were changing literally day by day, even hour by hour. We also hosted some excellent CLEs on diversity, equity, and inclusion, including really open and eye-opening conversations with our members of color. We held committee and board meetings online and remotely. We've even held social events such as trivia nights remotely. We've been putting out our sidebar newsletter, emails by the dozens with new information, resources, updates, and ideas, trying to keep our legal community connected and keep everyone abreast of all of the changes that have happened in light of the pandemic. Our York County courts worked quickly to roll out, or to issue guidance and rules and guidelines, and to convert very traditional in-person hearings and meetings into a virtual environment. The Bar Association worked very closely with President Judge Adams and the entire judicial team, including judges, court administration, row officers, and many others, to share important information with our members and our community on how to conduct business safely and remotely in this brave new world.
And it's been a tough year for the legal profession, just as it has for a lot of York Countyans. Why is it important to go on with the 2020 annual fund drive to support the Bar Foundation?
Well, the simplest answer is because the work didn't stop and the need increased. Our Bar Foundation is the county's largest funder of law-related programs. It's the legal community's most influential voice in circles where serious community problems and potential solutions are being formulated. Our Bar Foundation is our flagship, and it's recognized by the York County's leaders as a clear-thinking, solution-oriented partner. The foundation brings to community problem solving what lawyers bring to their clients: thoughtful analysis, well-reasoned advice, and sincere concern for what the community needs. And I'm so grateful to my colleague, Amy, for being a steadfast and dedicated leader for the foundation during these unprecedented times. The work that we do in the foundation is now even more important than ever.
So Amy, why is the Bar Foundation important in 2020? What is the foundation doing to help our community on law-related issues?
Well, I appreciate Ann sharing her thoughts about it. We really do pride ourselves on being a resource for our community. For example, through the treatment courts, for the past several years, York County lawyers and judges have been helping residents who face addictions with drugs and alcohol. And this year, the Bar Association has been instrumental in formulating a new strategic and broadly based program to help keep people out of the judicial system. The Community Action for Recovery and Diversion Project, which you might hear referred to in the community as the CARD Project, brings law enforcement, the courts, and healthcare systems together to move nonviolent offenders with addiction or mental health issues into effective treatment programs. This allows them to become healthy and productive citizens, unencumbered by a criminal background. Grants from the Bar Foundation funded feasibility studies and a program coordinator to help build the partnerships and community support to make this program a reality. Our initial investment of just $40,000 led to community investments of over $480,000 in this game-changing initiative that embodies liberty and justice for all.
Well, it sure seems like CARD is coming along at a time when people need to know that the justice system is working for everybody. we're coming to the close of our conversation today, and I'd like to thank both of you for taking time out of very busy schedules to speak with me today. I'd like each of you to tell our audience the single most important thing that you want them to know about the bar and the Bar Foundation. Anne, would you go first?
Thank you, Steve. I think that Justice Ginsburg said it best in 2017 when she told students at Stanford University, if you're going to be a lawyer and just practice your profession, well, you have a skill, so you are very much like a plumber. But if you want to be a true professional, you will do something outside of yourself, something to repair tears in your community, something to make life a little better for people less fortunate than you. That's what I think a meaningful life is. One lives not just for oneself, but for one's community. And the Bar Association and Foundation give us as lawyers a critical and important way to serve and enhance our fellow members' professional and personal lives, as well as to enhance and repair the tears in our community. And I think it's essential to everyone's success as a lawyer that you become a member of the Bar Association and give back to your community through supporting the Bar Foundation.
Amy?
That was very inspiring. Thank you, Anne. This year, more than ever, the Bar Foundation has been delivering on its mission to increase access to justice and promote equity, inclusion, and diversity in the legal profession. We can only do this work when our members give generously and share their time, their talents, and their money. So this year, we're asking everyone to support our annual campaign so that we can continue this good work and repair the tears in our community.
Anne and Amy, you've been great and inspirational leaders in a very difficult year. I'd like to thank you again for speaking with me today, and I hope that you and your families have a happy Thanksgiving, whatever that looks like.
Stay safe. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.